Sonic 3, the tale of Shadow the Hedgehog is one of immense sorrow and profound loneliness, marked by a tragic lack of love and understanding. Unlike many of the characters in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, Shadow's existence is not one of love or friendship, but a life defined by being misunderstood, mistreated, and ultimately abandoned in a cold scientific world. His backstory is a sad reflection on the consequences of exploitation, the cruelty of isolation, and the importance of genuine human connection. Shadow's journey begins far from Earth, when a meteorite carrying the alien Hedgehog crashes on our planet in 1974. Seized by the U.S. military, Shadow is not treated as a sentient being, a living creature with thoughts and feelings, but as an object to be studied, contained, and ultimately exploited. Scientists at a Guardian Units of Nations research facility, led by Professor Gerald Robotnik, view him only as a tool to harness for the benefit of humanity.
It begins over 50 years ago, with a meteor crash in a quiet corner of Oklahoma. The scientists who discovered and believed this power would usher in a new era for humanity.
Professor Gerald, in his unrelenting ambition, experiments on Shadow's powers, focusing specifically on his remarkable chaos energy. In Gerald's eyes, Shadow's potential is measured not by who he is, but by what he can do. Gerald does not personally care for Shadow. He only cares for what Shadow can do for humanity. The other scientists around him share this cold view, looking at Shadow with fear and suspicion. They do not seek to understand him, but only to control him, to exploit his abilities for military and scientific purposes. Amidst this cruel environment, Shadow is utterly alone, with no one to care for him or protect him. However, there is one shining light in his bleak existence: Maria Robotnik, Gerald's granddaughter. Unlike the other scientists, Maria sees Shadow as more than just a test subject. She recognizes his sentience, his pain, and his loneliness. Maria treats him with kindness and compassion, forging a deep bond of friendship with him.
The way the scientists look at me, I can tell they're afraid. Like I'm the horrible thing from that movie we watched.
My friend. Do or be anything you want, because of who you are.
She is the only person who ever sees Shadow as an individual, worthy of love and respect, not just a tool to be used. Through their friendship, Shadow is given a brief taste of what it feels like to be seen for who he truly is. This moment of happiness is fleeting. An experiment with Shadow fails and ends up killing people. Shadow is wrongfully blamed for this incident, even though he is blameless. Shadow can only do as he is told. If the experiment fails, it is the fault of those who were unable to account for every variable when it comes to chaos energy. After this, Gerald tries to take the only person he cares about, Maria, and the object he believes that will help humanity, Shadow, with him and leave. As they attempt to escape, an explosion occurs after a soldier shoots at them, killing Maria. This loss marks the beginning of Shadow's true descent into despair. Maria's death is not just the loss of a dear friend, but the severance of Shadow's last connection to his humanity.
But Shadow's power proved too dangerous. A terrible accident destroyed the lab, taking human lives with it.
Kids, we have to go now! They want to take Shadow away from us, Maria! Their orders! Stand down!
Maria!
With the program canceled, Shadow was a loose end no one knew how to deal with. Had him placed into stasis. Indefinitely.
I don't know what I'd do without you. I can't get her out of my head.
After this, Shadow is cast aside and imprisoned by the very people who had used him. They trap him in suspended animation, relegating him to a prison for 50 long years. His only crime had been to trust the scientists and follow their directions. For 5 decades, Shadow remains in stasis, locked away from the world, his heart burdened by the memory of Maria and the overwhelming grief of losing his only friend. He is left to stew in his anger, his sorrow, and his sense of betrayal, growing more distant from the possibility of ever finding peace or redemption. When he is finally awakened, the world has changed, but Shadow's pain remains unchanged. The weight of his lost friendship with Maria, the cruel treatment he suffered at the hands of those who only saw him as an object, and the endless cycle of exploitation and abandonment have all shaped him into a being deeply scarred by the world around him. Who can blame him for trying to destroy it?